Startups are born and killed in Silicon Valley on a daily basis, it seems, and then there are those that become the mythical so-called unicorn with a valuation of $1 billion when they're still private. With recent funding of $65 million from Andreessen Horowitz data analytics company, Mixpanel is now closing in on that status. Suhail Doshi is the CEO of Mixpanel, and he joins us now from San Francisco. Suhail, great to see you here on Market Makers this morning. First, why don't you explain what your company does? How do you track data?
Sure. Yeah. Mixpanel is a mobile analytics company. So basically what we do is we measure the actions that people take inside of mobile applications. So, for example, that might be someone uploading a photo to Instagram or taking a picture on Snapchat or playing a song on Spotify. We track all those actions and we help those companies make sense of that data.
Are all those companies your customers?
Not all of them. No, not all of them.
But Uber,
we have a bunch of.
But Uber is a customer of yours, right? And I wonder, I use it a lot for not only the car service, but also to messenger things. Maybe we could use it this summer for taking a helicopter out to the Hamptons. What would you track as far as my activity on an Uber app?
Sure. So, one thing that we might help Uber with is we would certainly help them understand how often people will take a ride on Uber, but we might also help them understand how some of their users are using some of their power user features. So, for example, maybe they want to know whether you actually type in your home address and your work address to make that easier and more convenient for you to get from point A to point B. Or maybe they want to know whether you actually split a fare with your friend and find out if you're actually taking Ubers with your friends. So all of those little things that they might actually measure help them understand how to make Uber a better application for you.
Suhail, give us some more practical examples. What other insights have you gleaned from these 50 billion data points?
Yeah, so another company that we might work for are companies like Fitbit and Jawbone, and for some of those companies, we might help them understand how their battery in the device might actually decay. So we might help them understand, if you have a Fitbit band on, how long does that battery actually last? Not just on your first use, but maybe after 6 months of using the device, we want to help people understand, okay, that battery is maybe not doing as well as they hoped, or maybe it's doing better than they hoped, and then that's how they might be able to make the next set of hardware that they make for consumers in their next version of the Fitbit better.
Well, we talk about 50 billion data points. It's a huge number. I don't think it's easy to get your head around that. But in relation to your valuation, what does that mean to you? I mean, how much is each of these data points worth, for example, or do you not think of it that way?
We don't really think about it exactly that way. But the way we think about 50 billion data points with respect to how the company is growing is it's twofold. On one end of the spectrum, we see every data point that we track as a testament to the fact that in tracking and measuring engagement is so much more important. It shows that the world thinks that it's so much more important than tracking traditional metrics like page views or downloads. And the second part is that our business is only successful if the businesses that we support, the companies that we work with, are successful. So if they're able to grow their user base and they're getting all these people to use their applications, then we're successful too.
All right, Suhail, thank you so much. That is Suhail Doshi, the CEO of Mixpanel, joining us there from California.